Once upon a time, a young girl, traveling with her father and evil stepmother, get their car stuck in mud in the middle of nowhere. A sudden storm appearing leads them to find shelter in a creepy house a ways away. This is where a horror fairy tale begins in one of my favorite 80s classics, Dolls, from 1987. Directed by Stuart Gordon, starring Carrie Lorraine as Judy, Ian Patrick Williams as her father, and Carol Purdy Gordon as the stepmother. It's unfortunate this movie isn't really talked about, as it's a great fantasy horror with amazing practical effects that for the most part still holds up. Rewatching the movie lets me appreciate things I just overlooked when I was watching it for the first time as a kid, and I forgot how gruesome it is. It actually has one of the most brutal transformation scenes I've witnessed, but let's put a pin in that for later in the video. The most prominent aspect of this horror film that stood out to me was it's a fairy tale in disguise as a horror film. Let me break it down. There's generally 5 to 6 elements in all fairy tales, which include, but are not limited to, a fantastical setting, good versus evil story, clear character archetypes, some sort of magical element, and of course, a moral to the story. Speaking of which, most fairy tales are used to teach a lesson to kids, whether it's the importance of family and not trusting strangers in Hansel and Gretel, or finding the beauty within a person instead of judging them by their looks, as in told in Beauty and the Beast. This movie is no exception, as it teaches us a lesson in the importance of being a good and kind person, as well as doing the right and ethical thing, not only as a human, but most importantly, as a parent. Judy and her family are welcomed inside by the innkeepers of this house, who are an elderly couple that make and have lots of dolls. But this being a horror movie, these aren't any ordinary dolls. Oh, no, no, no. The twist is that these dolls are alive and they essentially judge you. They judge your heart, your spirit, your soul, and if they deem you good, then you live. If they don't, well, that's another story. That is right. They have small homicidal tendencies. We are introduced to a couple more characters, such as Ralph, who is a kind hearted, a little dim witted businessman, and two women who are dressed as real punk rockers. It's quickly apparent where they stand in the line of morality and virtue, as punk rock girls start to take advantage of Ralph, and they're just plain mean. They start causing a ruckus, playing loud music, and then they move on to larceny. I love simple horror, so this movie scratches that itch that I yearn for, as it's predictable, as you sort of know who is going to die and who is going to survive. But true horror fans know most movies in this genre thrive in their formulaic behavior, as this movie hooks you in with its whimsical spin to the genre. It's really fun to see how the dolls kill the guests in the house because it's very creatively done. And no offense to child's play films, I just always found it natural to think dolls would have a creative kill instead of just stabbing the victim to death. Some highlights include one of the funniest deaths recorded in any movie ever, where one of the punk rock girls gets shot at by a line of nutcrackers with guns. It's so funny and ridiculous. How can you not love it? I also forgot to mention that in the beginning of this movie, there's a fake out death scene where Judy envisions a large Yeti looking creature killing her stepmom. And I just found that interesting, as I thought this movie was going to play me with the name Dolls and then have the movie not be about dolls. Regardless, the best scene in the movie has to be the transformation scene I was talking about earlier. We see the dad get his comeuppance as he is punished seemingly by the older fella and becomes a doll in front of our very eyes. This scene really did something to me at the first time I watched it, as it was unsettling, and at first watch it was traumatizing and really hammered home the point of being a good person, a good father. Rewatching it as an adult, I do love how evil the parents are. It's almost to a cartoonish extent. I want to see them get their just desserts. They are so awful to Judy. Like what did she do? You'd expect her to be a troublemaker, but no, she seems like a good kid. And just like most fairy tales, this movie has a happy ending, as Judy and the businessman leave alive and well. Both of them going to Boston, where Judy will live with her actual mother, who I suppose isn't evil. But let's not also forget that this is a horror movie and it can't end too happily. So just as Judy and Ralph leave, a new car gets stuck in the mud. And now the cycle will repeat again, and the judgment will continue. And of course, the dolls will keep you on killing. If you haven't seen this movie, do yourself a favor and watch it, as it's such a comfy film and it stands the test of time. I love it. Bad Ideas Production.